What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl Crissy and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about dialysis versus kidney transplant lifestyle. All right, guys, if you guys know anyone that could benefit from these types of videos, please go ahead and share with them. And if you're new to my channel, what's up? Take a moment to hit subscribe to be notified when I post my next kidney video. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Man, guys, where do I even start with this video? Because there's so much to unpack and to show you the difference between what my life was like I was on dialysis and what my life is like after the kidney transplant. I want to say that this video is going to be tailored for those that are on dialysis because I need you to have hope, right? I need you to have hope, when you get the transplant. I need you to know the difference when you're making that decision to get a kidney. So let's kind of discuss lifestyle when I was on dialysis. When I was on dialysis, I actually had to go into a center for my treatment. For those that do not know, I did hemodialysis, and I did that because it was best for my lifestyle. I know a lot of people say, hey, you're young, you should have did PD, but I wanted to do hemodialysis because one, I didn't want my kids to see that. Two, I didn't want all those boxes in my house. Also, I just did not want it, I didn't want my husband to see me like that. And I wanted to separate my home from my dialysis center. So I did what was best for me. But like I said, I went to the center 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, for about 3.5 hours. But you got to think about it, guys. You have to travel to dialysis. You have to, when you're done, you're feeling dizzy and blurry, you're not feeling good, and you have to drive back. There are services that provide, a car to you where somebody can come and pick you up and drop you home. But I didn't take any of those services. I just drove myself there and drove myself back home. See, on dialysis, we're on these special machines that have to clean our blood because obviously it can't do it. The kidney's not doing what it needs to do. And so those were just some of the things. But not only that, guys, I remember the days where I was so sick. Like, I was throwing up everywhere. I could barely hold my food down. I was weak. I was fragile. My skin doesn't look bright and refreshing as I do now. Like, I was going through a lot. And it was mainly just the vomiting and sickness. And when you get done with dialysis, it pulls everything out of you. I mean, you're whooped, you're tired. My kids knew not to mess with me when I was on dialysis because I couldn't be bothered. I didn't feel, and this is transparent moment, guys, okay? Because this is my channel, you guys are family to me, so I feel like I can talk to you guys about anything. But I didn't feel like I was a great mother when I was on dialysis because half the time I didn't even want to be bothered. I was tired, I was stressed out, I was just trying to fight for life, right? And I felt like, how can I, give all that I can give when I'm just trying to fight to hold on? And it was so many moments where I just been crying on the floor, and I know there's a video that I do have to make about fear. Somebody asked me about that, and I'll make that video soon, so hold on, that video's coming. But there was days where I cried just as well, right? I'm asking God, why me? Why do I have to go through? I'm such a nice person. I help everybody. But obviously the mission was bigger. I tell myself that, I needed to go through what I went through so I could be here, right? To show you guys, to minister to you guys and explain, just everything that I went through. So at that particular time, I have tons and tons of journals as I used to write what I was going through, what I was eating, how I was feeling. And it was just such a sad moment in my life because I remember going on vacation. I went to Trinidad one Christmas and I was so tiny, right? And I was so, you could have blew and I probably would have fell. That's how small I was. All my collarbones were showing. It was like really, really bad. And it was a really dark place for me mentally. But I had to, just continue to be positive. Even though I was in a sad moment, I always smiled. And I always just spoke positivity. But it was hard, right? And then it's just like, they want you to take certain things and they want you to do certain stuff, and you're sitting in this cold center. And let's not talk about when I got this fistula. OMG. It's one thing when you have the catheter in your chest, right? I could have handled dialysis. That, mind you, I was still tired, I was still hungry, I was still going through those emotions. But this right here, no. You guys, I cried constantly when I was at that center. Just to get those needles in, the older people around, because a lot of the people at my center at that particular time that I went were older. And they used to come over, don't worry, baby, it's going to be okay. You're going to make it. And a lot of the ladies gave me suggestions. And, you know, that lidocaine, that changed my life. Not the regular one, the prescription one. My doctor had prescribed. That changed. But don't get me wrong. Even though I had that, it was still very, very painful. And it was just a lot of pain that surrounded dialysis for me. Everybody's different. You know, I have some videos on dialysis, some of the symptoms that I've experienced. And I was reading through the comments and some people said, hey, I never experienced none of that. I didn't experience anything. And I was like, wow, really? A lot of people do experience, you know, the vomiting, the headaches, the dizziness, the loss of weight, you're losing your hair, you know, so many different things. And there's a lot more that comes on that list because, again, everybody's body is different. But there are some people out there, no issues at all. They go in, they leave, they're fine. But my situation wasn't that, right? And it was very, very hard for me. So, you know, again, this is a dialogue, guys. I want you to comment. I want you to let me know how your experience is on dialysis or what your experience was. But that's what I went through when I was on dialysis. Because you guys remember, I can't travel. I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck to a chair for hours out of my day. You know, like I can't have a normal life, I felt like, you know, because it was time consuming being sick. It was time consuming, you know, not being able like to just have my life. Oh gosh, it was a hard time. And just thinking about it just makes me feel like I want to get teary-eyed again because that was like the hardest thing I ever had to go through in life. No one will understand your pain. And I'm sorry if I start to cry, guys, because even though I had family and I had friends, I still felt alone. And I still felt like I didn't have anybody. And this is why this channel is so important to me because I didn't have what you guys have. And this is why I get here every week. I'm not trying to mess up my makeup. Oh, sorry guys. I get here every week and I make videos when I can. You know, sometimes I am inconsistent. Sometimes I'm consistent for a while and it's because it's my health, my lifestyle. I can't make promises to anyone. But anyways, this is why I come on and make these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys really appreciate them. But let's not talk about the negative. Let's switch the focus and let's talk about the kidney transplant phase. So thank you to my brother for giving me this opportunity. So I'm able to now tell you guys what my life is like after dialysis, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be. So I'm very grateful to my brother for just that sacrifice, because not everybody's family members is willing to give them an organ. So let's talk about kidney transplant. So now that I got the kidney transplant, my life is completely different. When you get a kidney transplant, it's a one-time event, right? You're not going every week to sit down in a chair like, you know, how I was 3 times out of the week. You're not doing any time. It's like a one-time procedure, cut, take an organ, put an organ in, whatever it is that they do. Actually, I have 3. Now I think about it, they didn't take anything out of me. I have actually all of mine. They said it will shrink over time. So for those of you that do not know, at least with the Emory, they told me that they weren't going to take out my kidney. They're just going to leave that there, the one that's not good, and they're going to put in my brother's, and eventually that one will just get smaller. Supposedly is what they say. But it's a one-time event. Like I said, you don't have to keep going in, getting cut, anything like that. So that is the positive side about getting a kidney transplant. So in the beginning of getting the transplant, it is time consuming. Again, guys, it's nothing like being on dialysis, right? It is time consuming, meaning off rip, you are running to multiple doctor's appointments. okay? I had mine in the midst of the pandemic. So that was crazy in its own. At that point, I am, my husband, you have to have a caregiver. My husband was my caregiver. He's running, he's taking me, and he's giving up a lot of his life, what he had going on just to take care of me. And he said he never regrets it. He had to put a lot on the back burner for himself because his wife health mattered the most. And he felt like if he didn't have me, none of this would matter anyway. So he put everything on a back burner so he can just, be that amazing husband that he is. I love my husband. But again, like I said, time consuming. And not only that, medications. Now we're getting into medications. When I was on dialysis, I had high blood pressure pills that I was taking. I never took all those other pills that most people were on. I just took the high blood pressure pills. When I got the transplant, I was taking a list of medications. Like, in the beginning, you got to take the back trauma, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's just so much. And over time, they got to wean you off and you got to stop taking it. Or I was on Prograf in the beginning, so my medications used to fluctuate. I got to take this much. Oh, it's too high. You got to take less. It was so much going on in the beginning stages. And I want to put that out there. In the beginning, you're going to have a lot to do. So make sure that you get a planner. And guys, I have a whole Amazon store just dedicated to dialysis. And, those of you that are now about to go get a kidney transplant, what exactly you need. I already made a video on that, and you guys definitely need to check that out because it's going to have everything and more that you're going to need to have just be comfortable in a successful journey, through the post-kidney transplant. But now the best part about getting a kidney transplant is over time, things settle out, right? And it's calm now and less doctor's appointments. Some of you guys will have less medication. Make sure you're working out so you can lower some of those medications if you haven't already. But life gets so much more chill and so much more fun. Now I feel like I'm the most amazing parent, right? I have time to do art projects with my kids. I have time to go to parent-teacher conferences. I'm not too tired to not show up. You guys, my youngest and my oldest, they both play basketball. And so I'm there. I was my youngest son's coach last season for basketball. For those that do not know, yes, I still had it. We made it to the championship. Even though we did not get the trophy, we still made it to the championship. But, life is more fun. My skin is glowing again. I'm having fun. I'm traveling. I have been to Hawaii. I have been to Dubai. I have been, obviously, to Florida. I've been, going places, doing things that I wasn't doing before because I was hooked up to a machine. Now I got my life back. Now I can travel. Now I can have a good time. And, it's just amazing to see how the kidney transplant gave me back my life. And this is why I try to tell people, are you on the list if you're capable of being on the list? And I know it takes time, right? Everything happens in due time. Nothing comes before its time. So just know that, those good days are coming. So hold on to that. That's what you need. You need to just hold on to just having a positive mindset and just know that, like I always say, better days will come. But having that kidney transplant, I think it also, my marriage has always been good from day one, right? But I think it's even stronger now because now my husband and I, we go for daily walks. We work out together. We're going on really nice dates and we're just going back to who we were before all of this happened. Before the sadness came into play, having to plan out wills and, do all of that in case something happens to you. And now I'm just so excited about life. And I just felt like I wanted to show you guys what the difference was. I'm getting up, I'm cooking, I'm packing lunches. I am in a good space. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful and I'm making more content for you guys. I'm doing certain things because before, it was hard. It's whenever I can get a video, I get a video, especially when you were on dialysis and you're sick all the time. And all I was documenting was just, my vlogs of me just trying to make it through. And so, but now it's I could come on here, I can give you guys some valuable information because I've been through it all, right? I've dealt with those of you that have lupus from the beginning stages, who some of you guys been from the beginning with me, you guys have seen me progress over time. You see me fall to my worst. You see me get back up and rise again, you know, from my dialysis days and now this post-kidney transplant. Like, you guys, it's important. It's important for you to constantly be grateful. Regardless if you're on dialysis or if you get a kidney transplant, be grateful. Right? And so, like with me, like I said, I used to journal a lot, and I have books that are really sad, and I have books that are positive and happy, and it's just good to see my growth and who I've become now. And I'm stepping outside the box, and I'm more confident. Like, life is great, guys. I know I'm like stressing now, but I just really need you to know how happy I am and grateful that, you know, God saved my life. For those of you who are believers, some of you aren't. Hey, I know that God saved my life. And so, you know, I even came out with my own, I will be launching that soon, my own devotional book, just kind of going over some prompts and talking to you guys in there and having you guys write, and it's just amazing. So make sure you go ahead and you check that out. I will have an announcement once that is, you know, uploaded, so you guys can, you know, join me on this journey that I'm going through. If you guys have any questions at all about the dialysis process or the kidney transplant process, this is your time to ask. Comment below, because if it's a really good question, I might turn around and make a video. So if you comment, you have a chance of getting your answer right here on video. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with somebody that might be in need. See you guys next time.